So hey guys, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Imad. Welcome to my channel ImadClicks. So today I am with Khalid Wani, a person who I was dying to bring on my podcast, and luckily Khalid bhai आज Kashmir में है. I got a chance to speak to him. So Khalid bhai क्यों है मेरी channel पे? Because his story is going to inspire many. He's one of the prominent Kashmiris who is living outside Kashmir. And to give you a brief introduction about Khalid bhai is working as Director Sales in WD, Western Digital. And Khalid bhai was recently, featured in Forbes India, which is a great thing and a proud moment for all Kashmiris out here. So, without any further ado, we'll be just having a chit chat with Khalid bhai. So Khalid bhai, you're here in Kashmir और आज मौसम, it's, I don't know, maybe you're very lucky, इतना अच्छा मौसम हुआ है, it's raining, it's so pleasant. So how are you feeling, to be back here in Kashmir?
It's always lovely to be here, right? There's no doubt about that. And especially on a day like today, in fact, in the morning, और ये मुझे, actually मुझे पता नहीं था इसके बारे में, but I was told by my mum that apparently since ages, Nowruz के दिन traditionally बारिश होती है, right? And lovely weather, beautiful weather. I'm glad that I'm here. I love spending time here.
To tell you all, Khalid bhai has been a great help to me. जितनी भी मेरी drives है, जो भी मेरी storage है, वो Khalid bhai मुझे sponsor करता है. ये नहीं होते तो I would never have been able to store all this, data and present it to you guys. So Khalid bhai, I just want to know about your schooling, your memories. So you have done your schooling here. So how was it, in your childhood back then?
We had a difficult childhood.
Yeah.
When we talk about our schooling, roughly around 20 odd years ago, पहले की बात है. So as you can imagine, right, things were completely different at that point in time. It was not as well, I'm not saying that it's easy right now, but we had different set of challenges that perhaps the youth of now probably might not be able to resonate with, right? And one of the biggest challenges obviously was like that opportunities were very few, right? And your thoughts at that point in time used to start with engineering and end with medical.
Correct,
right?
Correct.
I mean, you look at the last 20 years, the diversity that it has created in terms of what students, what youth can choose as a career opportunity for themselves is phenomenal. So at that point in time, breaking those shackles or traditional barriers, for me also was very, 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 very difficult. And I was also, constantly under that stress and pressure कि यार करना है तो या ये करना है या वो करना है. But then I think when you are able to identify something that you love, you basically try and chase that dream with passion. It kind of gets you into a different direction. I think for that matter of fact, look at you, right?
Correct.
You were doing something entirely different. I remember many years ago when I saw you. You're in a corporate environment, but you always used to love doing these shoots and all that stuff. And what you've been doing over the last couple of years is phenomenal. I mean, you put the insane beauty of this place in the forefront of people across the globe. So
thank you very much. It's really indeed an honor. You're speaking so high of me. You had a very humble beginning. You started your school from Kashmir, then you went to Australia for your masters. So, everybody has their own struggles. It's not easy. A lot of people, when they look at your success, they might be thinking that you were privileged, or no? You were from a privileged family background or something. So how did you end it, from Australia to Dubai? How
very
was this
interesting.
journey?
I enrolled in an Australian university, but it was not in Australia.
Okay.
So University of Wollongong was a campus which was based out of UAE. Look, when I left Srinagar after my 12th standard, I want to give a sneak peek. I don't delve into past much. I'll give you a sneak peek of it. When I started, I went to Delhi. I did my college. First year of my college, I was doing my economics honors in Delhi. I realized that Delhi was an expensive city to live in, right? And you coming in from a small city like Srinagar and moving over there, and so I decided to find myself a job that could sustain me. So practically in my second and the third year of my career, of my college, I started working full time. right? And I started making money.
That was in Delhi.
That was in Delhi, and I'm talking about the early 2000 or late 90s and early 2000. And वहाँ से शुरुआत हुई. And then I remember my first job was paying me maybe a couple of thousand rupees, right? But those 2 years of my college, the last 2 years of my college, they taught me tremendous, right? I mean, I think I attribute a lot of what I learned during that phase of my life, right? I started working for General Electricals, and by the time I actually finished my college, I graduated, I realized I'd saved enough money, because I was working full time for 2 years, simultaneously doing my college. To correct the notion, I did not have the privilege.
It was back in year?
I think it was in the year early 2000. I'm talking about year 2000 to 2002, 2003, 2002.
I was in school that time.
Probably were in school at that point in time. Eventually, what happened is, that is where. That's where I would say that the Rolling Stone had started gathering some moss, right? You started working in an environment which was led by some brilliant people, and I remember at that point in time, GE had a leader who was running GE General Electricals, and that was the time when General Electricals came into India. His name was Tyagarajan, and they actually used to call him Tiger. Okay. When he used to run the global town halls, you could really kind of, that person could move, right? It's so inspirational what he used to talk about, the opportunities, about, careers, youth, development, and so on and so forth. So the guy always kind of used to inspire me a lot, right? And from there, things started happening around, right? And by the time I had saved enough money, I decided that when I finished my college, I wanted to continue to work with GE,
okay,
right? But then, since I had saved some money, I said, you know what, you were young, carefree at that point in time. We said, okay, you know what, save some money. Let's see if we can have some fun. And I knew a few people, friends who, used to live in Dubai, and they said, hey, why don't you come here for a couple of days, a week, or so on and so forth. And that's when I decided I'll go for a week or so. And coincidentally, when I was in Dubai, I got mesmerized with that city, right? It was brilliant infrastructure. Even at that point in time, I'm talking about early 2000, what they developed was phenomenal. I mean, what they've developed now is out of extraordinary, but they did a phenomenal job. And the place inspired me. And luckily, one day, and it was just random, I met someone while I was commuting on a public transport. And Abhinav Kaul, his name was, from Kashmir. We started chit-chatting. He had also joined his career in a fairly large entity at that point in time in HR. And he saw me, he said, so what are you doing? I said, no, I work with GE, I'm going back, I'm here on holidays. He said, hey, why don't you apply for a job, right? I mean, he saw something in me. He said, why don't you apply for a job? I said, okay, let me go ahead and do that. And apply for a job. I got my first job with a local company, and from there, I moved into IBM. And
okay, after that you went, it was not WD.
Oh, no, it wasn't WD. I went into IBM, and then that's when I always used to have an affinity towards culture and how cultures impact businesses. And I ended up doing my master's in international business while I was in Dubai, and then I joined IBM, and I worked across the globe in markets like Africa, Middle East, India, Southeast Asia. Practically lived through the last 16, 18 years. I've lived through maybe around 8 to 10 different cities at a given point in time, right? So that's how things kept on going. So no, I was not privileged. I had to face equally the same set of challenges that any one of our youth, particularly from the valley, would be facing. The dilemmas that they face, the challenges that they face. The only thing that I felt that I was always passionate about, was the fact that I want to achieve something in my life, something that I only used to see on a screen at any given point in time, right? I don't think I'm there yet. I continue to work, with institutions. Academia is something that I'm very, very close to. That's something that I personally spend a lot of time on. So I work with a lot of universities here globally to talk to students about entrepreneurship, passion, and also development of soft skills, particularly which are needed in the ever-changing corporate environment.
Coming to the point which you previously made, about the education system in Kashmir, we all have observed that, and the trend is still going on, that mostly parents out here, they're a little conservative in their approach towards their children. They want their children to be, more focused on streams like doctors and engineering. So, and we see that the global trends are changing. There are a lot of upcoming, career options which are available there globally. So what would be your advice to the parents in Kashmir, and especially the students, how to go about it?
My advice to parents, I have a 10-year-old as well, right? Though I'm at an infancy stage at this point in time, but my only advice is, as parents, we're always able to recognize that one passion that our children have. Right?
Correct.
Identify that passion that they have, and completely go out of the way to support them in that passion. If you do that, you'll realize that particular person will be able to succeed in anything that he passionately wants to follow, right? And as somebody rightly said, turn your passion into your job. You won't have to work another day in your life, right? Because you practically love doing what you do. So that's my only advice to the parents, right? But I also do see that gradually things have significantly changed, Imad.
Correct.
Even in Kashmir, right? I see a lot of parents now, empowering their children, right? Helping their children to be successful in anything that they want to do, whether it is academia, whether it's healthcare, whether it is engineering, or whether it is media and entertainment, whether it is journalism, whether it is anything that has got to do with it, right? And practically now what is happening is, you see, the world, it's not the same as it was many years ago, right? I mean, we all realize how critical and important data is in our life, right? Correct. And what's happening around data as an industry. You talk about data sciences, you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about machine learning, right? I mean, the opportunities, as I said in the opening, right? When you compare to what we had many years ago and what you have right now, I think you have far more bigger opportunities for students and youth to be successful in what they choose to do right now than it was 20 years ago.
Correct. One more thing, just came to my mind. I was just going through Google searching your name. So I saw a lot of pictures of you with a lot of Bollywood celebs and everything. Back in your college days, mashallah, you're a handsome Kashmiri. You ever thought of, going into modeling or choosing acting as a career?
Well, I never thought of choosing acting as a career, but this is the first time I'm actually getting this question asked, right, Imad? But yeah, I did at one point in time. I did, yeah. When I was in college, I did try my hands on to modeling, but that's a story for another day, because that again was a lot of struggle as well. But I'm glad that I didn't choose that as a career path to follow.
You're doing amazing right now. I'm socially very active. On your Instagram, I've seen a couple of your, I've seen one bike, Harley, I guess. You have been, riding in Dubai. So, you're a passionate rider, I guess, if I'm not wrong. So, have you ever done, your rides here in Kashmir?
Oh yes, I am extremely passionate about bikes, and I have a couple of them.
You have a Harley, right?
Yeah, I do have a Harley here.
Okay.
I enjoy riding wherever I am. Right, even if I'm traveling on a holiday with my family, there's that one day I'll probably request that I take out in that city, probably rent a bike. Somehow it makes me feel good. It's a feel-good factor. I enjoy riding a motorcycle. Yes.
So, do you have any investment plans out here in Kashmir, or you're looking to invest in certain startups or ideas?
Yeah.
And how would how would it be better or the best way for the youth here if they want to approach you through their unique ideas or something?
I always had one of the things that I talked about earlier, that academia is something that I always enjoy doing. In fact, today in the morning I was at the National Institute of Technology, I spent a lot of time with the students over there, and we talked about an innovation lab that we would like to build in the valley to help entrepreneurs, to help startups, to connect the dots, right? Yeah, I do work a lot, not just with startups, but individuals who basically want any help, whether it's regarding, building their businesses or taking their businesses to the next level, or engaging with international markets, which has been my domain expertise over the last couple of decades. As far as investments are concerned, look, I think we all are eager to basically have people approach us if there are any brilliant ideas that can come up from the valley, right? I feel, and this is something that I truly believe in, Imad. I think we've always underestimated the talent pool that we have in the valley. Such brilliant minds that live in the valley, right? That have brilliant ideas that would need not just help from investment perspective, but also guide them in terms of how do they go about setting those things up. So yeah, I'm always eager to get into those discussions, those engagement whenever they come. I'm socially active as well, so if people want to connect with me, they won't miss a platform that I will not be able to connect with them.
I know. And I also observed, a lot of, when I was back in Dubai, I remember the first time I met you in your cabin, I was interviewing you for the KSL. And
oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was around 3 years back. I still have that video, by the way. And I've observed that a lot of Kashmiris who are settled abroad, the Kashmiri diaspora, they're doing very well.
The diaspora, and when you look at Kashmiris, not just in Dubai, you look at Kashmiris across the world. Correct. That's what I said. You look at the talent pool that we have, and you look at Kashmiris in every sector, every industry, you really feel so much proud and energized with what they've been able to achieve.
Correct.
Right? You look at whether education as a sector, you look at retail as a sector, you look at technology as a sector, right? You'll be surprised. There are some phenomenal role models and examples that you'll find of people who've done exceptionally well, right? And it's not just UAE. I mean, it's across the globe. And you can practically
US, there are a lot of Kashmiris, they're well settled.
A lot of people who've done phenomenally well. What does that point towards? That points towards the fact that I think genetically, I would say, we're born, Kashmiris are born talented. They have, all they need is that passion that they should be following to get into that right direction. They do it, they will be successful anywhere they go. You look at people over here, there are some phenomenal success stories, a lot of success stories even in the valley. And you will always find that there is one common link to all of these people who have been extremely successful. Guess what it is?
What it is?
It's about their passion. It's about chasing that dream that they have set for themselves. And that passion is what is leading them to that success, right?
Correct.
And as far as your other question in terms of what should people who basically want to look at those opportunities do, my message has always been the same. There is a consistency in that message of mine, guys. If you are passionate about something that you want to do, you'll figure a way out to achieve those goals for yourself.
Correct.
Right? Just don't let the circumstances that you get into become a hindrance that you always tell yourself that it cannot be done because the circumstances limit me to do this. And that's one challenge that I face with a lot of students, particularly the students of the valley that I engage with or have been engaging with for the last many years. And not to undermine the fact that there are no challenges. There are probably a larger set of challenges that the students would face over here or youth would face over here than probably in any other city or state within the country, right? However, I think challenges should never be a deterrent for you to stop doing what you really want to do. So
Correct.
Continue to be passionate about what you want to do, and you'll find a way out. You automatically will find a way out. God has His own ways of putting those things in place for people who want to do that. In fact, somebody asked me the other day who is one of my favorite vloggers in Kashmir. And I actually mentioned to me, and I genuinely, it's not that I'm on your show and I'm trying to kind of create that aura around you. No, not because of that. I genuinely love what you're doing, Imad, over the last couple of years. I think you practically put this whole thing, I don't have words. Sometimes you kind of lack words. This beautiful place, right up there on the pedestal, where people would love to come in, right?
Right now we are on the banks of Dal Lake. So how can you describe this feeling of you getting interviewed here at this scenic place? How's the feeling?
Excited. I feel excited.
It's different. The feeling
is different. The feeling is different, right? I feel pretty much excited about it, and yeah, I mean, I don't think there is any better place than Kashmir, man.
So last question. Actually, my last question was before that, but so what are your future plans? Are you looking back to settle down here?
I'm settled down. I enjoy, right? I enjoy my time here. I get to spend a lot more time with my family and friends. You can't ask for anything better, right?
Correct.
Can't ask for anything better. But my future plans are more aligned towards helping the youth of the valley, particularly Kashmir, with the initiatives that they want to come up with. I think we as a society do need transformation.
Correct.
Right. And there's a lot that the youth of the valley can actually do in order to bring about that transformation. And that transformation has to be in every segment, right? I mean, you look at infrastructure, you look at healthcare, you look at education, you look at any of those things. I think that they're doing their bit towards it.
I know foreigners who come here, I get a chance to speak to them. They say that the vibe of this place is totally different. It's very raw.
It is.
It's something, which makes them feel more close to nature in actual, terms.
I think you're absolutely right. It is very raw. But I think what does beautify this place is also that, when people come here, they get a first hand of not just the beauty of this place, but also the beauty of the people of this place.
Correct.
I think what amplifies within people the position of Kashmir is not only about the pristine beauty it has. You go to Switzerland, it's also a beautiful place, right? I mean, it's probably maybe it's even more beautiful and much more scenic and cleaner, right? But the fact that when people come here, when you visit a place, and you'll realize this, Imad, when you travel around the world, you'll realize that a lot of times you start attributing a place by also your experiences that you've had in that place. And the experiences that you get is predominantly from the people of that place, right? And when people come here, they firsthand are able to see the pleasant personality or aura or the hospitality which Kashmiris are very, very famous for, right? And I think that, in my opinion, that significantly amplifies the aura around Kashmir, right?
So Khalid, it was really nice talking to you. I'm sure the viewers are gonna enjoy this conversation, and they will be introduced to the insights about the real Khalid Wani, not the one you see on This is the story about Khalid Bhai, how he is as a person. He talked about his experiences, his struggles, and everything, and we had a wonderful time, chit chatting. And it was really pleasure to have you on my
Thank you so much, Imad.
podcast.
It was my pleasure, and lovely seeing you. Keep on doing the phenomenal work that you do.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Surely.